We've got some numbers for October. Let's jump into what they're trying to tell us. The first one we got up is our total residential transactions. So taking a look at these transactions, we've seen a huge jump up, about 33.3% month over month. And we are having a feeling that people were reacting to the rate cuts that happened from the Bank of Canada, but we weren't sure because some markets were picking up and seeing offer nights and a lot of transactions happening, but that wasn't necessarily across the board across the GTA, but it looks like it was enough to bring up the overall trend. So that is interesting to note, and that's going to be affecting the other numbers we're taking a look at. Next up, let's take a peek at those total new listings, and you would think if we've seen a lot of transactions, we might be seeing listings pumping up, but that's not the case. Usually in the fall, we're seeing less people listing, but there might be more transactions in September, October happening, which we are seeing, but listings, the actual amount on the market is coming down, and it's kind of correlating with that 2023 trend that we see there at 4.3% above it, and we came down 15.3 month over month, but we're coming close to 2023 numbers, even if some of the other numbers right now aren't necessarily correlating too closely to 2023. So we see those transactions picking up right now. We see the listings coming down. What is that telling us about our overall average selling price? And taking a look, we can see that all of those transactions have bumped up the average selling price, and we are above 2023 numbers by 1%. First time we've been above 2023 numbers since, what are we looking at? April there. So it's been a while since we've been above those prices. And month over month, 2.5%. So not a huge increase necessarily in comparison to the 33% we saw for the amount of transactions happening, but it is an increase. And you can see from the 2023 numbers, usually it kind of curves off going into October, but we've seen a big spike in the price right there. Not necessarily huge numbers at 2.5%, but when you're talking in the millions, it does make a difference. So we got one final number to take a look at that's going to give us some interesting information going forward. And our final number to kind of give us a barometer of how the market is doing right now as to relative to a seller's balanced or buyer's market, that'd be our months of inventory. And we find that by dividing our active listings by the sales that have happened for the month, and we can see that we've dropped right down to 3.6, which is technically now a seller's market again. Anything below 4 is sellers, 4 to 6 is balanced, and we are in a balanced market or trying to stay in a balanced market there during the summer where we saw a lot of inventory but not necessarily a lot of transactions. And as we had a lot of transactions in October, we're seeing that month of inventory drop. So it's going to be really interesting to see how November plays out numbers wise, to see if we're seeing a lot of transactions again. Then we're going to see that average selling price creep up a little bit, but usually going into the winter months, we see some dips. As you can see there, the months of inventory for 2023, it might have rose a little bit going into September, October, but it starts to dip into the winter months, and we're probably going to see the same thing where it's dipping into the winter months. So we'll see if the average selling price kind of rises through the winter and we continue to rebound through the spring. Only time will tell, and we'll keep you informed with what happens next.